Say goodbye to regular flashlights. The Star Patrol Spotlight is here. This light shines a beam that's insanely bright, whether it's a blackout or a bear attack. The 10 powerful modes of illumination from Star Patrol just might save your life. With 30,000 candelas of crazy bright light, a hands-free kickstand, and built-in power bank, you can go from spotlight to floodlight with the pull of the Star Patrol's trigger. And now, with this exclusive offer, you can get an even bigger beam with the Star Patrol Spotlight Turbo Boost. A light so powerful, we had to hire a voice actor to read this disclaimer.
The Turbo Boost button activates a super bright light up to 100% brighter than the standard mode, designed for short bursts of intense illumination. Always use the flashlight responsibly and in accordance with local laws and safety.
Go to GetStarPatrol.com for your free Turbo Boost, plus free shipping and a money-back guarantee. That's GetStarPatrol.com. GetStarPatrol.com.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Busy 3-hour program lined up today. Among our guests, Brian Edwards, longtime college football bettor and handicapper, coming up on the program in 30 minutes. His best bets for week one. Same thing, Paul Stone, a regular throughout the college football season on a weekly basis in 90 minutes. And Matt Vasgersian, a little Major League Baseball back end of the show. Win-lose is coming up this hour. And we'll get into some week one games that we have on the board starting Thursday, Friday, and then this weekend in college football, Pauly. Some news today in the National Football League. I know JVT and Stormy, they were just touching on this on the back end of their show today, and it is the Saints naming Spencer Rattler their starting quarterback over Tyler Shuck, a guy they took kind of high in the draft. And they knew that the writing was on the wall that Derek Carr was probably not going to be back, even though Shuck is an aging rookie, so to speak, coming out and playing in his first year in his mid-20s, which is atypical for teams to go that high with a draft pick. But they go with Rattler, who did not impress me very much at all last year. And two things here. The day that Derek Carr announced that he was, done, I bet Shuck immediately for Rookie of the Year. They're going to be a bad football team this year. I like to bet, backup quarterbacks almost every year to win that award if they have a path. And I thought that this guy's playing time was going to be there. I'm not going to panic about this because I'm not surprised that Rattler won the job. But I would say that Shuck might be in at halftime of the Week 1 game against Arizona.
Yeah, Rattler played well in the Week 18 game against Tampa. That was about it. So I think everything's on the table here. Worst team in the league. Definitely under the win total. Fewest points. And I know you were on vacation in the summer when Mike Detillier was on. And Mike's a straight shooter. He'll tell you what he thinks of the team, and he thinks they're going to be awful, and he thought it was a waste of money to bet Shuck, that they just don't have any talent, and we'll see when he gets in there. Rattler was minus 260 before the preseason started to be the Week 1 starter. A lot of people are already saying, well, the tank's on, they don't want to win, all this business, but I would love Arizona if they would have at least played some people in the preseason. I don't like that. I would have loved Pittsburgh, too, against the Jets.
Right.
I just don't like sitting around but, okay, here we go, showtime. And, Seidenberg had some good numbers on that when you don't play your quarterback one snap in the preseason. So, a bit of a surprise, but I think they're just, is Kellen Moore that good of a coach, too? I mean, I thought he did a piss-poor job in Dallas, but also you could have coached the offense in Philly with the weapons they had. So, worst team in the league, and I think they could get boat raced Week 1 against Arizona, and I think the talk really starts.
So, huh?
So, yeah, I think it's all in play here, like 2 wins. 3 wins. I think they can be that bad.
I got to tell you, that number on the board in Week 1, with everything that you just said, and that's been the most common narrative that you've heard on the Saints for the last 3 months, right? They're going to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst. They're going to be garbage. They're not going to score points. They're going to be the Aints again, and people are going to show up at the Superdome with garbage bags over their head. Yeah. I got to tell you, in my betting career, well, at least the last 10, 15 years, I'd say, in the NFL, in Week 1, with a home dog, if I can get 7 points, every year, I would have been on the Saints. Even at 6.5, 7, no-brainer. No chance I'm laying that number with Arizona. I'm a little freaked out, too, that teams did not play guys in the preseason. We've seen teams struggle. It's not, every team's kind of different. It's like a snowflake, right? You're not going to be the same thing as every other team in the league. but I don't know if I can do it this year. And I'm telling you, like, this would have been an autoplay for me, like in contests out here, Circa Millions, Westgate Super Contest, all of them. At 6.5, absolute consideration. If it touches 7, specifically in the contest, I wouldn't even hesitate. That would have been one of my favorite games on the entire board. In a situation like this, in 2025, with this team, not so sure. Plus, there is this, take away the preseason thing for a minute here. I like Arizona on the season.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
I think they can surprise. Mm-hmm. And there was a game, wasn't it recently, like last year, early on in the season, where they blew out the Rams? Mm-hmm. And they started off under Kyler Murray like 7-0 one year as well, and they were mauling teams.
They need to have a big year from Harrison. That guy was supposed to be Randy Moss.
Yeah, I'm betting on him bouncing back.
Yep, he needs a big year. Yep.
But also there is this kind of angle where does that team that we have circled entering a specific season in the NFL as the worst team ever, right?
Well, how about just worse than we got it right last year? It was the Patriots. They shocked everyone week 1 with the Bengals, but that was the worst team in the league. And then they probably would have won 2 games or maybe 1 game if they didn't make the quarterback change. But, I mean, they played well down the stretch and were feisty in some of the games. And certainly May showed some good moments. But I thought we've had that right. We were wrong a couple years ago with the Jets with the 3.5, right?
That's the team I think about all the time this time of year is that the Jets, they were steamed. Their win total was steamed down from like 5 or 5.5 to 3.5. Yeah. And remember, Vinny Meatballs over at the South Point said at the time, it's his lowest power-rated team he's ever had. And he's been doing it for decades, right? And they came out and they surprised people that year, and they were actually pretty decent. But also, there was that stretch of time where you could count on the Browns being absolutely god-awful, and they and the Lions, going back many, many years, like you knew entering the season that they were going to be an absolute, the Titanic, and they lived up to that. Yep. I mean, that stretch for Cleveland where they went, what was it? 30-1 or whatever it was in a 2-year stretch. It's impossible. Yeah.
Patriots just got the lucky win in week 1, and then Joe Milton turned into Tom Brady for a game and cost them the number 1 pick. Other than that, they were atrocious for much of the year. Yeah. So I think that's going to be the case with the Saints, and plus 450 fewest points as well. I think this offense is going to struggle big time. All
right, we're going to get into some specific week 1 games in college football coming up in the next segment. What are you looking at for biggest line moves now that the games are actually here, Pauly?
Get a lot now. So I mentioned how I'm intrigued by this game Thursday with East Carolina and NC State. They had a brawl in 2024 after the Military Bowl. It was a Donnybrook. The over 56.5 up to 62.5. I think it's too many points. I think East Carolina can hang in this one. 2 touchdowns. USF, the Bulls, plus 9.5 down to 6 against Boise. Where's this going to go? It's Thursday. Rutgers against Ohio, 10.5 up to 15.5. And it keeps going. Nebraska, Cincinnati over, 50 up to 54. App State, Charlotte under, 53.5 to 49.5. Georgia Tech, Colorado under. Brad Powers loves Georgia Tech, 57 down to 52.5. Michigan, New Mexico under, 52.5 down to 49. Nevada, Penn State under, 60.5 down to 56.5.
Now, what's that going to be like? Because Penn State's also laying more than 40. What are they laying? 44.5, 45 points?
Yeah, right.
So they basically have to pitch a shutout? Uh-huh. I mean, because if they score, let's say they go over that number on their own, which I think is kind of likely here. What is it going to be? The total's down to what?
56.5.
Yeah, so it's going to be, 52 to 3 as a final score?
These games are awesome.
We have unbelievable numbers coming up during the show that are on vsin.com today. Steve Makinen with them. You would not believe how many times a team laying like 37 points when it's FBS teams playing each other, how many times they've covered in week 0 and week 1.
He does a great job. Mm-hmm. Tennessee, Syracuse, 55.5 down to 51. Utah State against UTEP, 3.5 up to 6.5. Washington, 18.5 up to 22 against Colorado State. Arizona, 10.5 up to 17.5 against Hawaii.
What do you make of that?
I agree with it. Hawaii looked terrible. But, how high does it go? I think you'd have to take Hawaii if we're talking 3 touchdowns, though. Everyone's on Utah except Kelly Stewart, 3.5 up to 6 Saturday night. Miss State, Southern Miss, 57.5 up to 61.5. Rice and Louisiana under, 51.5 down to 47. Va Tech, South Carolina, over, 45.5 up to 52.5. Notre Dame, Miami under, 54 down to 49.5. And Belichick, open a 3-point favorite, now catching 3.5 against TCU on Monday.
Yeah, so assuming that you don't have a bet on that game yet, are you intrigued at all by the dog? That's another team here. They're like the Saints of college football. It's been nothing but
That's right.
pessimism
Yeah.
regarding Belichick and our former colleague Michael Lombardi taking over as a GM in Chapel Hill.
Yeah. I think you have to be intrigued by that.
I
and
absolutely
grab some
am.
points with Belichick.
I'll tell you this, I can't wait to watch
Come
the
on.
game.
Yeah.
I want to
Absolutely.
know what they're going to look like.
Yeah, and like how Colorado shocked people when they came out that first time and put it on TCU. So, but, we touched on this briefly. Good schedule Thursday. I'm intrigued by some of these Big Ten teams and the games that they're taking on some MAC teams. Like your guy, Fickle, I loved him at Cincinnati. I thought this was going to work. I was dead wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Year 3 at Wisconsin, 7-6, 5-7. They returned 14 starters. Let's see what the offense looks like. They play Miami of Ohio. They're laying 17, and then Minnesota takes on Buffalo. Their quarterback is 25 years old. Fleck, year 9. I would give him like a C- when you look at it.
Well, what did you expect out of the program once he took over that job?
I expected more than just one good season. Remember, 2021, they played Wisconsin at home. If they won, they were going to the Big Ten title game.
That's right.
2 scoop vanilla offense, very conservative, got beat. Lost that game, right? So then you look 9-4, 9. Oh, that was 2. Yeah. 9-4, 9-4, 6-7, 8-5. But then again, it's a program that hasn't won since the 50s. So it's. I certainly expected more though out of the guy, and then you look up year 9, and it's like, okay, he'll get you 8 wins.
Yeah.
That's probably maybe win a bowl game. That's about it.
Like, should it be that tough to win there? You're right. I mean, you have to go back to, people don't realize this, and I hate to actually admit this because I'm from across the border, but they have a ton of national titles from like circa 1950,
Yeah,
1940s.
Right. That's it. They go to the Rose Bowl all the time. And now
They
it's-
crushed it. Yeah, they were the best program in college football.
Yeah, look that up, Luke. When's the last time Minnesota went to the Rose Bowl? I mean, it might be the 50s. So they had a couple good years under Mason, and then I think Lou Holtz had one good year. But other than that, it's like you got to go back way back.
But if this guy wins 8 games every year and they make a bowl game, he'll probably be there for the rest of his life if he wants to.
That I know, but you're right. But that's garbage. That's settling, and that's just being mediocre. Our NFL betting guide is updated and ready for Week 1. NFL Betting Guide 2.0. Post preseason team updates, proven betting systems, contest strategies, and a ton of bets for the opening week and beyond. $9.99. Get in now and get our college football betting guide as well. VSiN.com/subscribe. It's awesome. Get it.
All right, up next, could we be looking at Travis Hunter 2.0? PJ Fleck has an aggressive game plan for his player this season.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We'll expand on some Week 1 games here in college football, and more specifically on the Buffalo and Minnesota game, as the Golden Gophers are hosting Buffalo coming up, and Minnesota is laying 17.5 in that game, and the total is 44.5 overall for the Gophs. Pauly, they return 52% of their production, which is a little bit lower than middle of the pack in the country, but 61% on defense. And actually, that unit ranked 11th overall in Bill Connolly's SP Plus rankings last year. He projects the defense to be top 15 again this season. A redshirt freshman quarterback takes over for the Gophers. Now, here's the guy that you want to absolutely circle and watch. His name is Coy Parrish. He is the future star of the team. He's a safety who is going to get snaps at wide receiver. More on him coming up in a minute. But so I went back and looked, because in my head I thought that Minnesota had like some dominating performances over like MAC teams in recent years. But it was just like when they take on like non-Power 4 teams. And in 2021 with Fleck, it did not go well. They hung on to beat Miami of Ohio 31-26, and there was a 14-10 loss to Bowling Green that season as well. Since then, from the 2022 season to last year, these are the scores. 38 rip over New Mexico State, 62-10 over Western Illinois, 25-6 over Eastern Michigan, 35-24 over Louisiana, closer one there. But last year they pitched 2 shutouts, 48-0 over Rhode Island and 27-0 over Nevada. This is a guy who likes to play in these low-scoring, grind-out type of games. I was trying to figure out a way to maybe play an under here, but 44.5 with the total, maybe worth a bet. But also, what about like maybe a Buffalo team total under in this game, where the defense just takes over and they dominate and they and they don't allow Buffalo to do much here offensively at all.
I don't know about that.
No?
A lot of people are picking Buffalo to win the MAC.
We got I'm high on them. I like them overall. But
we got a guest, too, that likes them coming up. So that's I like that they got a veteran presence under center, and maybe that can help them, too, starting out on the road. So
they were 9-4 last year. They returned 59% of their production. 167 starts overall are returning, 0 incoming via the portal. Most of the players are back on defense, 9 starters overall. One MAC assistant coach said, quote, "They looked like the best defense in the MAC coming out of the spring," end of quote. And so the quarterback here that you've talked about, he was previously with Penn State, UConn, and K-State. And in 2023 with UConn, he played 11 games, had more than 2,000 yards passing, 12 touchdowns, 6 INTs. Much better on the ground last year than in the air. I just think the offense could be in for a long night overall against Minnesota. But here's the angle that you want to look at. And this is from, my buddy here, John. And when I tell you that he is a lunatic Minnesota Golden Gopher fan, I can't even begin to describe it to you, what he's like. It's his favorite team in all of sports, along with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anyway, he's the kind of guy.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's 1961 last Rose Bowl appearance.
61?
Yeah.
So he travels to a lot of their road games. He makes sure he goes to the Minnesota-Wisconsin game every year. He hates Wisconsin. I'm from that state. So this guy, when Minnesota wins the X at the end of the year, and they've done it a few times here in recent years, he will send me a random picture in February or in May of Minnesota having the X and winning that game. He's just a complete nut job. Anyway, he loves the team. I was talking to him today about safety Coy Parrish, who is a true sophomore. He told me, and he's going to be 50 this year, my buddy John, quote, "Best Gopher of my lifetime. Top 15 pick. He'll get Heisman votes this year and couldn't win it next year if he thrives on offense. He's that good." And this is the guy I was talking about before the break. He's on special teams. They're going to use him on offense. He was phenomenal as a true freshman at safety last year. And so the whole talk is, could this be Travis Hunter 2.0? And how much are they actually going to utilize him as a wide receiver and on offense? Well, this was last week, PJ Fleck on his weekly radio show talking about, and he was asked about the overall usage for sophomore Coy Parrish.
Yeah, I mean, we got everybody on board on this. I said this at the Big Ten Media Day. This isn't a gimmick, and nor is anybody comparing him to the former player, Travis Hunter, at Colorado. Nobody's ever doing that. This isn't a gimmick. This is just Coy is that type of athlete where we can use him on different sides of the ball, use him in the special teams game, and we're going to. But you're going to give somebody as much as they can handle. It just happens that a really special athlete like Coy can handle a ton. The more he gets, the better he is. And he's a phenomenal athlete, like phenomenal, with the ball in his hand, on defense, in the return game, on other special teams. Why wouldn't you play him? I mean, in high school, we do the same thing. You don't take your best players off the field. This is the first time in 13 years I've ever done this.
It's a pretty strong comment right there.
This is great, yeah.
Isn't it phenomenal?
Yeah. And it gets you excited, too. Goes back when we had Barber and those punishing running backs that they had as well. So
Lawrence Maroney.
There you go. Another one. Yep. Offers from USC, Michigan, Wisconsin. Late offers from Florida State and Ohio State. As a senior, 27 touchdowns, 16 rushing, 5 defensive, 4 return, 1 passing, 1 receiving, 76 tackles, 3 picks, 4 forced fumble recoveries.
So what if they're good, right? What if they win 9 games this year? And this dude puts up similar numbers to Travis Hunter from last year. Our voters going to say...
I don't think we're going to do this, though, with the ESPN nonsense of nonstop highlights, though, because it's still Minnesota.
Good point. That's the right. That's the angle here.
Deion Sanders. Everything's going to be Arch Manning this, Arch Manning that. What does Ohio State quarterback look like? What's Underwood doing? I mean, that type of stuff. So if Minnesota's 7-1, how many times are we watching their games? Is Fox live from the campus? And I don't see ESPN shoving it down our throats like they did Hunter. That's
the biggest drawback to this whole thing, right? I got to go bet this guy to win the Heisman Trophy. I did take a slice of him. At 200-1 today. Just a small bet on it, just in case it happens again. And he picks
That's all he is.
Well, okay, so you don't even guy in the cornfields, right?
Yeah.
He
Sent to traders?
He has him at 1,000-1.
All right.
That was the number that Circa first posted. Of course, that number moved. Circa's down to 100-1 on him now. Other books,
Wow.
he's actually not even posted at most books that I looked at today, and I looked at several books.
Like Ollie Gordon.
That's exactly right.
Good.
So hopefully they can get off to a good start. And if this guy is like playing both sides and getting snaps on offense and scoring touchdowns, it's going to be like, okay, this is interesting here. So, and speaking of that, Colorado is also in action against Georgia Tech. Looking at the numbers overall for this Colorado team, they were surprisingly like solid last year on defense. That team was not just about Sanders at quarterback and Hunter on wide receiver and playing cornerback last year. Their defense was actually pretty good. And so they returned a lot of guys, and they brought in a ton of guys in the portal who have played well in other spots. But I'm kind of with you. You said this earlier. You mentioned somebody who loves Georgia Tech. What was it? Is it Brad Powers?
Yeah. Loves them, yeah.
I think I'm
anti-Colorado big time.
Yeah. I think Georgia Tech can be good this year.
Yep. That too. He's also big on Georgia Tech and recommended a pizza money bet to win a conference.
Well, Paul, when you go back and look last year,
should have beat Georgia.
Yep, 65% of production is back, 18th most in the country. And when they played top 10 teams a year ago, that Georgia game was one of them. But what happened against Florida State in week 1 when Florida State was top 10? Now, I know Florida State didn't live up to it, but Georgia Tech beat them, and nobody saw they were a huge dog in that game. And they played well in their other top 10 game that they had last year.
Miami.
Beat Miami. And Miami was undefeated, number 4 in the country in November when Georgia Tech beat them.
Mm-hmm. Seems too low. Plus, the health and everything Dion had to go through, too.
Yeah.
That could factor in as well.
What'd you have in Wisconsin and Miami?
Is this guy on the hot seat?
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
I mean, is this
he
guy,
has to be,
what's
the
offense going to look like? It's been a joke how bad they've been. I mean, this was one where they were much the best compared to Minnesota, even though Flex had success against Wisconsin. But, Bielema always had him in the mix and always had him to Rose Bowl, or he'd lose a game he shouldn't, but you'd get 10 wins. Alvarez as well. And this guy comes in, and it's just a disaster.
Oh, Paul,
I know you came in with Longo as the OC. We're going to throw it around and have some fun. That didn't work out. Now he's gone coaching Sam Houston. I'm shocked after what he did at Cincinnati, how bad this has looked. And you're just, can you win 6 games? Look what the win total is.
I know. I got to be honest. Like, if you go back to the day that Wisconsin hired Fickell as a new head coach, if you could buy stock in programs or like head coaches moving forward, I would have unloaded saying they're going to be a rocket ship.
Yeah, good
That's
fit.
exactly what they're going to need.
Yep.
And that I would be in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
I would have lost my entire portfolio.
I thought Frost was going to win at Nebraska, too.
Me too.
I know. Another good fit. Going back. All right, this is great. Welcome in. You played here. This is going to be awesome. Disaster.
Now, that's a low total, by the way, the Wisconsin game.
Yeah.
That's below 40 now.
Yeah.
But I would also not be surprised if that game's like 23-3.
Yeah, it's a big week for the MAC, and see if they could, because a lot of people love Toledo, and a lot of people think Buffalo can win a lot of games, and Miami of Ohio also up there as well. So let's see if they can hang in some of these games week 1. And Toledo took a lot of money. They're down to 8 in that game.
Yeah, you're not
7
kidding.
and a half.
Yeah, and they opened up at 11. So on that note, more college football coming up next. Longtime handicapper and college football bettor Brian Edwards on the program. We will get a couple of best bets from him this week, and maybe some futures as well on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. More college football here as we are live downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort Casino. Thanks for watching the show today on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158 or any other radio stations where you can find us coast to coast. Here we go out to the Progressive guest line as Brian Edwards joins the program now with Major Wager and Vegas Insider, longtime college football bettor. Brian, good to talk to you again. How are you?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
You bet. You bet. We just spent quite a few minutes talking about the Buffalo-Minnesota game coming up this week, and currently on the screen, the Golden Gophers laying, we'll call it 17.5, total of 44.5. You are interested in this game. Which side do you like?
Yeah, I like Buffalo a lot here. So they finished last year on a 5-game winning streak to finish 9-4. They bring 9 starters back on defense. We know that PJ Fleck loves to run the football, That's always his MO. And with a redshirt freshman quarterback and Drake Lindsay making his first career start, he's a kid out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, who did not get a scholarship offer from the Razorbacks, only a walk-on offer. So he went to Minnesota. He's making his first career start. Minnesota's got a stud running back in Darius Taylor. So to me, the key to this handicap is Buffalo's run defense. And their front seven is outstanding. In fact, Phil Seal's national unit rankings have their D-line ranked 44th in the country. Their linebackers 72. But, I mean, any MAC team that, gets in Phil Seal's national unit rankings is pretty good. They've got one of the best linebackers in the country in Red Murdoch, second in the country in tackles last year with 156. He had 16 and a half TFLs. He had 7 forced fumbles to lead the nation. He had 4 forced fumbles in 2023. So his 11 career forced fumbles are 13th in college football history. They also have Kobe Stewart, defensive end, led the MAC in sacks last year. And their 2 defensive tackles, Cornell Evans and George Wolo, they've both been in the program for 4 years. And they are preseason 3rd-team All-MAC and preseason 4th-team All-MAC in Phil Seal's MAG. And then they have Deion Crawford, who last year had 16 TFLs. So they also have a nice running back in LJ Henderson, 1,078 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, 5.3 yards per carry average last year. And Taquan Roberson, started for Jim Mora at UConn 10 times, didn't play much at K-State last year, but he's their transfer QB. I like Buffalo, which is also 10-5 against the spread with 3 outright wins since 2017 as a double-digit underdog.
You're all about the MAC. I love it. We were also talking about Fickle before you came on, 7-6 and 5-7 last year. How about Miami of Ohio catching 17.5?
Yeah, I thought Fickle was a spectacular hire at Wisconsin, but it is not working out, and their schedule is absolutely brutal this year. I like Miami of Ohio catching 17.5. They won 7 in a row last year to get to the MAC title game. They actually got drilled by Ohio in that game, but they bounced back nicely. They smashed Colorado State 43-17 in the Arizona Bowl. They finished 9-5. Really no shameful losses. Their other L's, 3 of them were to Power 4 programs, and the other one was at Toledo. They won 7 games by double-digit margins last year. Chuck Martin always has a good defense. They gave up only 18.8 points per game last year. 5 starters back on that side of the ball, including 3 of their top 5 tacklers. But most importantly, they got Daquan Finn out of the portal from Baylor. So, he thrived at Toledo for a number of years, and then he went to Baylor, started a couple games, but lost his starting gig to Sawyer Roberson. And Daquan Finn, 63-23 career TDINT ratio, nearly 7,000 passing yards, and 1,699 career rushing yards. So I think he's going to be an upgrade at QB. Give me the Redhawks plus 17.5.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't want to overreact from one game. You can get, you can lose part of your bankroll doing that every single year. But what I watched with UNLV was absolutely vile and nasty on defense, allowing 500-plus yards, right? And that lucky win against Idaho State. If they don't get the 4 INTs, they lose the game outright as a 30.5-point dog. So now they get Sam Houston, who has a game under their belt as well, Brian. What do you want to do here? Do you want to do Sam Houston plus the points? Do you just want to ride the over here? What is your attack?
So yesterday morning, I just jumped on it right away, figuring it would go up. I got 60.5. I'm trying to find it on the board. Like 62, 63 now?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I still like it over. I mean, I don't like it as much as the number that I got yesterday. I like it better at 60.5. But UNLV gets 539 yards, but they give up 555 and 30 first downs. I mean, that's like Mullen was at the end of his tenure at Florida when he refused to fire Todd Grantham. I think we're going to get lots of points here. And Alton McCaskill, running back for Sam Houston.
Okay, we're going to get reconnected with Brian here in a second, and he was going to make a great case here for the over in that UNLV game. Just a little snafu there with the audio on his end. And that game, I believe, opened up 58.5 at some books immediately I think that was late Saturday night or early Sunday morning.
Sam Houston looked pretty good offensively because they were not good offensively last year.
Well, if you have a pulse, I think you can look good against UNLV too, right?
Yeah.
Evidently, with how just absolutely nasty that was. So, by the way, I'm looking at one book now. That was sitting at 10.5, down through the key number of 10, 9.5 now at FanDuel, UNLV in the game.
DraftKings is 5.5 on the Boise game. Did you see that too?
What is going on?
I don't know. They're betting a game like they know the final score here with South Florida, no problem.
Okay, now I was going to ask you that in the first segment. At some point, don't you think it's low enough where you got to hop it on Boise? Now you get below a touchdown?
Yeah, I think so. This is too much.
I mean, especially compared to where it opened up, Pauly.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I have a lot of respect for that. This is a game they always win. Always get it done, right? You go back to Hawkins, right? And then when Peterson takes over, they always would win this game. They'd start the season on a road neutral against a big boy opponent. Not that South Florida's in that class, but
right.
You know what I'm saying, and they would win the game.
All right, I think we have Brian Edwards back now from Major Wager and Vegas Insider here in the Progressive Guest Line. You're in the middle of talking about the over here in the UNLV game.
Yep, so I like it over. Mullen, a lot of points, and his defense looked like the Todd Grantham defense that I grew to hate in the last couple of years at Florida.
Yeah. Excellent. How about Syracuse and Tennessee under? Do you still recommend it under 51.5, 52 Saturday morning?
Well, I would buy the half point to 52 if it's 51.5 because 52 is a key number, 3 off a multiple of 7, obviously. Look, we'll see on Tennessee's offense. I'm not a big Joey Aguilar guy. But I almost kind of trust Heupel just in general for Tennessee the rest of the year. But look, Tennessee's going to be great defensively. The defense will keep them in every game. They only gave up 16.1 points per game last year, and they've got 8 starters back on that side of the ball. So Tennessee is going to be fantastic on defense. And, I think Heupel is going to try to he always tries to run the ball a lot, but even more so, with Aguilar, certainly, to just get the offense flowing and him to have confidence. So this looks like a dead under to me. I mean, Kyle McCord's gone. So, Syracuse is not going to be nearly as effective offensively. I like the under.
All right, how about this Toledo-Kentucky game where the Wildcats open up as an 11.5-point favorite, got all the way down to 7.5, and now I'm looking on the screen. There's money coming back in on Kentucky. It looks like DK is showing 9.5 right now. Other books have 9.
Right. So I got plus 11, but I noticed that line movement late this morning. So I wasn't going to recommend it at 7.5, but now that it's back to 9, yeah, I'll recommend it. Excuse me. Toledo went 2-0 against Power 4 teams last year. They beat Pitt in the bowl game. They went to Starkville last year, and they were up 35-3 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. They win 41-17. They've got their veteran quarterback Tucker Gleason back. He was outstanding at Mississippi State last year. Had a monster game. And by the way, that wasn't Mississippi State with a freshman quarterback. That was before Blake Shapen got hurt that they ran them like that. Toledo 4-1 against the spread as a road underdog with 2 outright wins since 2021. And I think Toledo's going to be really good this year. And I think they've got a great chance to win this game. I'm down on Kentucky in general. In fact, I think they'll be underdogs in every SEC game. I don't have it as a big bet, but I have a little bit on under 4.5 on Kentucky's season win total. And I like the Rockets in this one.
Very good. About 45 seconds here. Who do you have for Heisman bets or to win the national title?
So I don't think I've ever made 3 Heisman bets, but I had made 3 this year. I did Lagway at 20-1 for like a whole unit, and then really small change on Haynes King 90-1, and Sawyer Roberson for Baylor at 80-1. Some other win totals and futures I like. I like Vandy over 5.5 at around plus 140. If your number's 4.5, that's heavy juice. Maybe just a little bit on that. I think Vandy wins 6 or 7. I like the Gators over 7.5. I've been way down on them during Napier's tenure, but I think as long as Lagway stays healthy, I think the Gators will be good. I think everybody thinks regression on Indiana, but I like over 8.5, and I got a good number on over 7.5 for Illinois early in the summer.
Very good. You can follow Brian on X. He is at Vegas B. Edwards. Thanks, Brian. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great week.
You too.
Thank
Back
you.
at you. Win some, lose some. Coming up next.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Asia Wilson doesn't go off in the win, but the Aces get it done again. 11 wins in a row for the Las Vegas Aces coming down the stretch here. An incredible move on Wilson from 100-1 to 2-1 the last 2 weeks to win MVP. Angels plus 170. Took out DeGrom, who got no help. The A's plus 190. Detroit blows a lead late in the game. The A's, second best record in baseball going back.
Well, they also got to Scooble a little bit there.
Uh-huh. And the Rays plus 135 to even money. The reeling Guardians have lost 9 of 10 now. Most runs, Mets 15-1. Every time I'm on Sanchez or Luzardo, it doesn't work out. 3-0 in the fourth, and then all hell breaks loose. The Mets club them. And it was also the highest scoring game, 8-1. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. Luke, send me this one coming up later. We'll get to this French Bulldog. A lot of people sent this in. They're going with the Euro burger at Culver's. Oh, I love a good Euro.
They're fantastic.
The Euro pub burger coming to Culver's. New item. Fantastic.
I'm in. I'll try it for sure.
The menu was already so deep, and now they're just throwing this at us, too.
You know, every time I have a Euro, I take 2 bites, and I'm like, why don't I eat this more often?
I know. It's great.
I love them.
Yeah. Awesome. Extra sauce. The French Bulldog morning routine. Wakes up mom every day, jumps on the bed. Look at this. Hey, how you doing? Okay. You ready? Time to get up. Let's go. Let's go. Runs in. Goes up, wants to jump on the chair, right? Smart boy. Good kid. And he gets like a little facial, a massage. Look at this. Coming up. He puts him on the chair and then goes to work on him, right? Okay, yeah, little face, little rub. Clean the teeth. Clean the ears, right? Look at his face the whole time. And then they put this on over little wipes, put this over his head, clean his eyes, right? Every day, though, with this?
It's kind of high maintenance.
I know. Come on.
But that dog is living an amazing life, though. My God.
But this is what he gets. Look at this. How much stuff is she putting on his face? He's got look like an Ewok with that thing on his head, too. And you see how excited he was, waking up mom every morning. All right, shake. That's good. That's awesome. And he gets a treat. What a life. That is awesome. Good job, fella. You are the man. Is this a omen? A sign of things to come? This is not AI. We had a haboob. A dust storm, Arizona State by the field. Look at that thing. It's like the Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming in.
That happens, I think, every single year around this time in the Phoenix area.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Never been in the middle of one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to be. That looks pretty scary.
Damn right. This is too. This is you better have a diaper. The guy is at the bottom snorkeling, scuba diving, and then here comes a great white, and he bumps. Watch what happens.
Doesn't see him.
Oh!
Bumps the back of his head.
Bumps him right on. He could have been a snack.
Sure.
He's just sitting there. He didn't even see the guy coming, and the great white bumps him on the head. That could have been he is a lucky man. That could have been ugly.
Look at how close the mouth here to
right.
As they slow it down.
Oh!
It's right there for the taking.
Oh. Can't believe he didn't go after him. He's lucky. That is wild video. Thanks to everyone who sends them in all the time on Instagram. You know who you are. At Pauly Does Vegas. Aces sky over 162 up to 166. No dice, and the Phillies took money. I was on it. Horrible. Blow the lead. Blown out 110 up to 135. Before the line moves, sharp plays already there. They just don't follow the market. They help move it. You're not going to outmuscle or outsmart billion-dollar books or full-time sharps on your own. With the sharp plays, you don't have to. Powered by advanced AI. Great sources. They deliver the edge serious bettors use every day. Free reports, real alerts. Market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X feed. Jeff and the crew have been doing it since 2011. Been with Follow the Money since day one. The Mr. Poison t-shirts. Documented results, public logs, transparent receipts. Sharpplays.com. Trusted by pros, watched by the books. Visit sharpplays.com. Stay ahead of the line.
Big Dumper went deep again last night.
Yeah.
Number 50 on the year.
DH, though.
Yeah.
So he's still 2 behind Javi Lopez.
That's right.
4 behind Mantle for most ever in a season for a switch hitter.
Okay, so he's still a dog to win the American League
get
MVP.
It doesn't make any sense.
Is this going to come down to, like, analytics, numbers versus narrative?
Or New York?
Yeah, how much of a factor will that be?
Who has the better record?
Will playoff? Assuming both teams make the playoffs. And I don't know if voters really... I guess that'd be the ultimate tiebreaker for voters, potentially.
Yeah.
But so here's the deal. On the season, Aaron Judge, he is first overall in the American League in the following categories. Batting average, 323. On base, 439. WRC plus 193. He's tied for first in WAR at Fangraphs with Cal Raleigh. He's first in runs. He's also second in home runs, 10 behind Big Dumper. And he is fifth overall in RBIs. Cal Raleigh has a 247 batting average, 47th overall in the American League. A 353 on base, which is 18th. His WRC plus is second overall. This is part of the reason why his WAR overall is tied with Aaron Judge. He has a defensive WAR at Fangraphs of 13.1. That is the 4th best defensive number in WAR in the American League. Compare that to a negative 2.3 for Aaron Judge. And again, his 50 home runs are 10 more than Judge. He has scored 86 runs, number 2 overall, and 107 RBIs, which is first in the American League by 12 runs batted in overall. So,
he's got to win the award. He's going to break the record for most home runs by a catcher. And you can, have the Al Bundy T-shirt ready. I was a catcher. I played amateur ball. I got tools of ignorance. It's 90 degrees. You're behind home plate. It's a tough position. The last thing you want to do is go up there and hit most days. And this guy continues to deliver at that position, at the catcher position. It's outrageous. He needs to be the favorite. He needs to win the award if this continues, and the guy might hit 60 home runs.
Will this factor into it at all? Will voters go back and look at what previous catchers put up for a single season when they won the MVP? And I have the numbers right in front of me. The last catcher to win the award was Buster Posey in 2012. He batted 336. He also had 24 home runs and 103 RBIs. Defensive games played 114. I mean, Cal Raleigh is going to blow away all of those numbers other than the batting average of 336. Your guy, Joe Mauer, won it back in 2009. Do I have this correct? Did he not beat out Derek Jeter with the New York narrative?
You're right.
Was built in. He batted 365 that year.
No power, right?
28 dingers.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 1 year. Okay, that was an outlier.
Yeah, that was the outlier, and 96 runs batted in.
Okay.
But again, those are the how key are those numbers? I mean, Cal Raleigh's going to blow him out of...
Piazza never got it?
He was not on the list that I looked at today. Pudge did. In 1999, he batted 332 with 35 home runs and 113 RBIs.
We're the only, I said it to his face. I mean, you were there. We're the only people ever to interview Piazza and Clemens at the same time. And Piazza was freaked out. But he was the best hitting catcher ever. I thought he was the best hitting catcher I've ever seen. And never play the game.
Yeah.
Well, Piazza was a beast. But what this kid is doing.
Yeah. Those numbers by Ivan Rodriguez were so good, he kind of had to win the award. You have to go back to like 1970 and 1972 when Johnny Bench won it both years to find a catcher with comparable numbers at all to what Cal Raleigh is doing. In 1970, Johnny Bench hit 45 home runs and 148 RBIs. I mean, that's a spectacular season for a catcher. Mm-hmm. Then in 1972, he batted 270 with 40 home runs and 125 RBIs. He won the award again. I'm just curious in my head, you got to get inside like the mindset of a voter. Will they look back and compare Cal Raleigh's numbers at all to previous catchers who have won it and say, my God, he is going to blow away most of those numbers.
Yeah.
He has to win the award.
Yeah.
Because to your point, Pauly, the position sucks to play.
It does. Absolutely. Take a foul ball off the mask, whatever.
Sure. And I
worry about calling the game. You got so much going on. He's going to hit 60 home runs maybe. It's just, to me, he's got to get it. Got to make the playoffs, though, too. 4-game lead now over the Royals.
Right. And I'm curious about voters. Will they look at that overall and say, you know what, Aaron Judge does have better numbers in a lot of these key categories, but he's already won 2 awards. Cale Raleigh hasn't, and this is the best season we've ever seen by a catcher. So based on that alone, I have to lean giving it to that guy. He was 125-1 late May.
There it is, yes.
125-1.
Your whiff you talked about.
One of my biggest betting whiffs.
Gosh.
I'd be hedging Aaron Judge every day if I had that ticket.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to put $400 on that to win $100,000.
What happened? You forgot about it? Can you get into it? I got away from you.
Poo-pooed it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Is my math right on that? Yeah. Because 200 would pay.
What'd you say? 125-1?
Yeah, 125-1. We were going to put 400 or 500 on it. 500 would pay 50,000. Yeah. I can't do the math right now for some reason. I'm
62.5.
Total imbecile. Yeah, we were going to put that much on it to win that.
62.5.
Nothing to show for it. Up next, week 1 betting systems in college football. This is 16-0 straight up, 15-1 ATS since 2013. Find out the incredible angle next.